Laura found out about NAET while watching News 12. At the time, she was desperate for an alternative to the bag of medications she needed to survive. While critics charge NAET has not been adequately studied, Laura says it's been 3 years since she was cleared of her symptoms, and she feels better than ever.
I had mostly environmental issues, but I did have some food. I had issues with egg, milk, dairy. I was cured. I really would love to cure other people of this. I'm not on any meds, and I just love it. Living life. It feels good.
I'm Dr. Jacob Teitelbaum, an internist and medical director of the Annapolis Research Center for Effective CFS and Fibromyalgia Therapies. Having practiced medicine for about 30 years now, we have realized that there are many illnesses doctors think are incurable that can be effectively treated. These include chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, hyperactivity, and autism. What happens in medicine is unless something is surgery or an expensive pharmaceutical, nobody can pay to put it through the FDA process if it is not expensive. Sadly, in medicine, even if there's really good science behind something, if your doctor doesn't hear about it, he believes it doesn't exist. Many illnesses caused by a number of different processes, not a single thing. Different environmental insults, toxicities, nutritional problems, infections. Multiple sclerosis, for example, is a common endpoint for many different insults. There is no single magic bullet. You have to look for and treat many different processes. Medicine does this very poorly. It only wants to study things for which there's a single magic bullet. A treatment that I have found to be very wonderful is called NAET. It uses a combination of acupressure and applied kinesiology to desensitize the body to allergies, sensitivities, and many other problems. The beauty of NAET is it can search for and treat literally hundreds of different insults to the body. The good news is when you explore the medical literature, explore what's out there, there are often many highly effective treatments. NAET is perfectly made because it can address literally dozens, if not hundreds of different possibilities that can trigger biochemical state. The treatments are simple. They simply hold a vial that has that allergen in it. You hit several acupressure points along the spine, but it was a very simple thing. It's a 20-minute treatment.
I had a pretty severe egg allergy, and so I heard about NAET from John, and I went in for a couple treatments, and after about 3 treatments, I was able to eat foods that had egg in it.
I was allergic to probably about every vegetable and fruit you could possibly imagine, and wheat and calcium.
After her first NAET treatment, she says she saw results.
It's made a big difference in my life.
Karen no longer suffers from allergies.
It's amazing.
Every mother who's raising a special needs child knows lifting your kid up year after year. He's getting in and out of the car by himself, which is huge. He's asking to use the potty now. He's definitely my more feistier one, more rigid behaviors. Things have to be very according to his routine. As soon as we started treatment, he relaxed. He was able to sit for it. We were able to make it through the whole week. Amazing to watch, to see him follow direction, not hurt himself, sit down. He's very quiet. He's kind of pre-verbal. To actually hear him start saying words loudly, you know, that's what we're here for, right? For him to be able to find his voice and to be able to use it that's the purpose of this. He's getting 2 bowel movements per day, nice and decently moist, so much healthier bowel movements. Makes our life easier at home. That makes the whole house happier.
Conventional medicine offers little hope. Most parents are really worried about their children when they're diagnosed with autism.
Father was expelled from nursery school, and he wasn't really speaking.
He was very blank to himself. You talk to him, he was not listening.
Non-invasive, no needles.
As a parent, you want to try to find something. You're searching for something that might work, and you're actually looking for it, but it didn't. We tried things for a little bit of time, and you'd realize that it wasn't working. NAET, within 2 weeks, we saw an immediate result, and we said, we have to keep going. We have to keep going, keep trying. Month after month, we saw results.
This is definitely a different child.
John has improved and gotten better every single week. For the first time at the age of 4, he told me, "Mommy, I love you." And he touched my cheek, and it was the best moment. And I never thought I'd ever have that moment with an interaction with him. And it was so real. And I knew from that moment that this was going to give us our son that we always wished would.
When kids are sick, moms are not well. 90% of our patients are women with children with chronic illness. The challenges they live with, financial burdens, time constraints, constant stressors, fighting for support, emotional strain, lack of self-care, sacrificing careers and earnings. They have no choice but to function anyway. Women are struggling with sick children, illness and stress, and don't know about NAET. Our mission, to reach and help them and their children like others we've helped. Our pilot study with 60 children showed an 88% autism remission rate with placement back into regular classes. What's unique is NAET fills the gap where biomedicine falls short. We get children and moms remission from treatment-resistant illnesses. After 2 hospital stays, rounds of antibiotics and steroids, and they're still struggling. Mother and baby sleeping 1 hour a night, yet mom's back at it the next morning trying to handle everything in constant fight-or-flight stress. NAET is a game changer for women. By helping children heal, we restore mom's mental and physical health.
I had severe brain fog. I was not getting any sleep. I was very tired. I was congested. I tried some alternative treatments. Nothing was actually working. I tried the neti pot. It didn't work. And I did the NAET treatment. I've had 6 treatments and I felt amazing. I'm about 90% better. But I don't have those sleepless nights. I'm very productive now. I can think. My brain is clear and I feel much better and I look much better.
I started treatment with NAT last August. I got a virus, diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome ME. I really crashed and my immune system went haywire. And since then, every single treatment I've tried has made me worse. And I found Helen. She's been treating me. I'm no longer close to death. Treatment included massaging down my spine. I was very, very relieved and happy. Within about 3 or 4 sessions, I was able to eat foods like chicken. It's given me hope. It's expanded my diet. It's given me a deeper understanding about why I'm reactive to substances I eat. I think I've got an opportunity to get a lot better.
Hi, my name is Victor Sunwall, and I'd like to just tell a story about my son Alex, who's now 13. And when he was about 5 years old, he had a lot of problems with inner ear infections and sinus infections. And a lot of it was tied to some allergies that he had and some allergic problems that he had. And we doctored with him for a long time. And we'd actually come to the chiropractic clinic for adjustments to help with his drainage and stuff. And he had got really good results from that. But his primary care doctor talked to us about putting him on getting shots for his allergies. And we were not obviously thrilled about doing that with our, at that time, 5-year-old son. And it was at about the time when the clinic here was starting with their NAT treatments. And Alex was one of the early NAT patients that they had. And the NAT procedure of, tied to the food allergies and stuff. Alex went through it, and after going through the treatment, there were the 10 food allergies, and there was 2 other things that we tested him with. And ever since then, now as I said, he's 13, he's had no further problems with any sinus infections or ear infections or any allergic reactions. So for us as a family, the NAT treatment really cured him of something that we thought was going to be a lifelong problem for him, that we were going to deal with these allergies and the problems that he had due to the allergies. But because of the NAT treatments, we haven't had any problems with him since. So Alex continues as a patient with the clinic, just coming in and getting routine maintenance, but has had no further problems with the allergies. Today, there's nothing that he's not able to eat. He's, as a 13-year-old, he eats everything. And so no, he hasn't had to restrict his diet at all because of any of the allergies or any problems he had before.
Hi, my name is Tammy. I have been diagnosed with lupus. And that started a trend of terrible medications that would cause horrible side effects. It was oral chemo and steroids and anti-inflammatories that would cause acid reflux. It would cause me to lose my hair, cause me to gain weight. It just was awful, made me exhausted all the time. Then I found out that my kidneys were starting to fail because of the lupus. And so I was back on those oral chemo and steroids just to get this lupus under control. Then we found out that those medications were affecting my liver. So we had to try a different medicine, which was a biologic, and that wreaked havoc on my body. I felt hot and exhausted all of the time. And so I asked a friend of mine that I knew believed in alternative medicine. It made me feel so much better almost immediately. I'm off of all the medications altogether. My blood work looks better than it has in a really long time. I'm finally able to enjoy life and I feel like myself again.
Hi, I am a neurologist by profession, and my son had a lot of problems before. He had frequent infections. We were using antibiotics to get rid of them, but never had any good luck. They kept on increasing the generation of antibiotics, like they were doing first generation, second generation, third generation, to treat the infections. Also, he had some problems with breathing. He had asthmatic attacks. 2 times we had to take him to the hospital and give him regular inhalers. So somebody at his school told my wife about Dr. Johnson. That's how we came to know about him. Because of my background, I'm from India, and we use the Ayurveda in our daily life to treat the things at home, minor things. So when Dr. Johnson said about this allergy elimination technique, we thought we should give it a try. And since then, he has been having he almost have very rare infections, and if he does, Dr. Johnson prescribes some homeopathic or some herbal stuff, and he gets really relief really quick. So biggest thing is that we don't have to use antibiotics. And the same thing with his asthma, he doesn't take any inhalers, no visits to the hospital. And I'm really surprised by this, using allopathic medicine, and I'm myself being an allopathic doctor. So I really highly recommend using the alternative therapy for a kid or for an adult that they have any problems, because given the success with Aman, I'm really impressed with it. And I'm also thinking of incorporating the alternative medicine in my practice as a neurologist, because I see a lot of patients where we have to use very medications with a lot of side effects. If I can use something benign or healing alternative therapy to help them, it would be great.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you for that share. Excellent.
Obviously, I've been so pleased with the whole process that when my grandson was having problems with depression and lack of focus and acne he'd had for years and unable to get rid of, his mother and I had often felt like part of it was diet. And he probably had an allergy to wheat, among other things. So just recently I have brought him here it's been about 2 months, been under very intense clearings. When he came, he had been overtreated medically with a couple of different, prescription medications, not illegal drugs, but all prescription, but over-medicated, mismanaged. He was ill. He was depressed, brain fog, unable to concentrate on anything. He was really needing help. And he was able to get off all the medications and is feeling better physically. We still have some work to do, but I think one of the things that has been so good about your whole office is that you surround yourself with professionals who can assist with not only with the detox, but with counseling and, other disciplines, both, emotionally and physically, to help out the patient. So it's all, such a good holistic approach. I think it's what, in addition to your care, helps make it successful.
Before starting treatment, what were your main concerns or symptoms, and how they changed?
My biggest illness, the fibromyalgia pains, were from neck down to the bottom of my feet. To get up in the morning was absolute chore. And to do anything was just horrible, like debilitating for many, many years, and just got worse with each trial. After the 3rd session, they realized like 50% of that pain wasn't there. I got up faster in the morning. I don't have to struggle to get up. So that's a big difference, just to not have that pain. Not even 1 week.
After the 3rd treatment.
Even just now, I was just able to touch my toes, do the stretches.
Did you notice any unexpected positive changes than what you initially came here for?
Well, another positive change would be the brain fog. I experienced brain fog, and I don't have that. I'm thinking very clearly, and that makes life a lot easier when you're dealing with neurodivergent children. That's something you really need as a mom, be able to think clearly. Things are going to be better. because I can think clearly.
Hi, my name is Dan. I'm here at the healthcare clinic because of the seasonal allergies. It's something that I've dealt with as long as I can remember my entire life, spring and fall. And always in search of the right medication to alleviate allergies and not make you drowsy and so on. And this spring in particular, the allergy season was really bad. It was just kind of the tipping point for me. So I came across Nate and decided to go ahead with the treatment. And over the last couple of months, I've had a very positive experience. I would have to say that as of now, from this experience, very happy.
Hi, my name is Bianca, and this is my son Harper. And we always come to Dr. Chow as soon as we're not feeling good. My son got pretty sick and was snotty and coughing and very congested. And then we brought him in, and what happened? Did Dr. Chow make you feel all better?
Yeah.
We did the NAET with Harper, and he was better almost 24 hours later. And then of course a couple days later I got it and I was very sick, and came back in 2 days later and I'm already feeling almost 100% better. So the NAET really works. Thank you, Dr. Chow.
I first heard about NAET many years ago when a friend of mine's daughter wanted to go on a mission for her church, but she had so many allergies, she didn't think she would be able to do it. And her mother sent her to an NAET practitioner. She was treated until all her allergies were cleared, and then she went on her mission, no problem. Didn't have allergies since then. And when I heard that story, I thought, well, that's wonderful, wonderful. You know, I didn't think it applied to me at all until over the last couple of years I realized that I've had quite a few allergies that I couldn't seem to avoid, and a lot of times we learn to avoid whatever we're allergic to. Mm-hmm. And so I was allergic to gluten or anything made with wheat, and I got so that I was so sensitive if it was cooked on a pan that had gluten on it before, and it became almost impossible. It became very difficult to avoid gluten, so I would get headaches all the time. I just thought, well, I'll just deal with it, right? Until I found out that I couldn't eat hardly anything without having a reaction to gluten. And then I contact the NAET clinic here in Buena Park, California, and they were able to help me a great deal with clear my allergies. And they had an accelerated program, which meant that I didn't have to fly back and forth, and I didn't even have to live here if I don't want to. And so that helped me a great deal. Even some of the things that I thought were not related to sensitivities were helped, and even some of the emotional things that I felt like I was just stuck. I had gotten to the point where I thought I was going to just get up every morning, exercise, eat breakfast, and then rot in bed until lunch, and then eat that, and then rot in bed until I went to bed. The accelerated program, the first 17 treatments happened in the first week, which is very accelerated according to the books, but I even wondered how it would be possible, and it was not easy, I will say, because, you know, a lot of avoidances that you're supposed to avoid whatever you've been treated for. You're supposed to avoid it for 24 or 25 hours. So we decided to come for 1 week, except for I just had a feeling, and after talking to Dr. Keith, I really, he wasn't the one that suggested it, but I realized I need to stay because there's a lot more treatments between the basic 17 and then there's a lot after that. And there were things that I had severe allergies to, like latex and chemicals and things like that weren't in the basic 17 that I wanted to be treated for. It's much preferable to spending your life allergic to everything and not being able to enjoy life. And so we just decided, well, we don't want to go on cruises. Those are pretty expensive. We'll just spend it on NAET. I feel a little bit more capable of living life now, and it helped. I feel very healthy in life. I can go on with the rest of my life. So that's my story.
What are your observations from before you started the NAET Accelerated? And now after you finished the second week?
After the first week of treatment, we noticed him asking questions like, what does that say? We noticed is during his sleep, I hear him all night. He constantly coughs, cough, and grinding his teeth was a constant thing. And the dentist said, well, there's nothing you can do. After the first week of treatment, that completely stopped and has not come back. Also, at Christmas, normally he would have his iPad and hide in the corner and not interact or really be that interested in doing anything with anybody. But this Christmas, he was all over his big boy cousin, trying to get him to play games and things. So that was something completely different. Now, after the second week of treatment, I have noticed a lot of reciprocal conversations, which is unheard of with him. Normally, you ask him a question, it's one answer, but we are having actual back and forth, full conversations. The other thing is he's asking really different questions. Not the type of question that he ever thought about to ask me. It just shows me like he's really inquisitive. He's absorbing now all this information and asking funny, awesome little questions.
I play Kids Runners. We have built a cool house.
We're going to be an architect.
Yeah. Architect.
The big thing was I could see differences, but I just wanted to hear from other people if they had noticed anything. On Thursday, his speech therapist came out of session and she was so excited. And then she started welling up and she had tears in her eyes and she's like, he's completely different. And she said, I don't know why I'm getting so emotional, but I'm just so happy for you that you found this and it's definitely changed him. She said, I literally shut my computer down and we just sat there chatting. It was so nice to hear from somebody else that they do see a difference in him. So that was really a confirmation for me. Something is happening. My worry has gone down a lot. My anxiety about his future, about just what life is going to be like for him. All these little wins help bring down that anxiety and that stress of, am I going to have to live forever? Now I see him being a lot more independent and it just gives me hope for the future.